I'm not negating the importance of elections, Alan, although there's a lot of election fraud. We can get into this. We have a president who was elected fraudulently who isn't even a natural-born citizen.
Oh, come on. Don't give me the birther stuff, please.
Well,
you're not going birther on me, Larry, are you?
You know what the definition of natural-born citizen is? It's someone born in the country or this country or its territories to
was Obama born in Hawaii?
I believe he was born in Kenya. The evidence points to that.
Larry.
The birth certificate he came forward with.
Larry, you're
but even if he was now, you have to have. Listen, let me be candid with you.
You're sounding like a bag of crazy now, Larry.
Marco Rubio does not qualify either, and the Republican side. The framers put that specific.
But Rubio, we know. Look, we know about Rubio's history. Obama has produced 2 birth certificates. We've seen the microfiche of 2 newspapers announcing his birth within weeks of him being born in Hawaii. I mean, we've kind of traveled. We've been at this rodeo for a while now. And you're still a birther?
Alan, I'm not still a birther. These are the facts. Is that even if he was born in the United States, and many people in Hawaii placed these ads in to try to get permanent residency or citizenship, Hawaii is the most corrupt state in the United States.
Wait a second. Why would they? Who would be at work trying to place ads in newspapers for a 2-week-old child? Because there was an agenda to make this 2-year-old child a messiah to become president of the United States. Who would be at work doing that? For what purpose?
American citizenship is valuable, Alan. You know that. You and I.
So his birth announcements were planted in Hawaii for the purpose of making him making it appear he was an American citizen, even though he was only 2 weeks old at the time this happened.
Right. Wouldn't you want your kid to be an American citizen rather than a Kenyan? Doesn't that make sense?
I don't have a kid, so I don't know the answer to that question. But what do you mean by the end of the What do you mean by the end of the country, though, Larry? What do you mean by the end of the?
Is that it's the constant decay, ethically, morally, and legally, of the foundations of our democracy, and it's one more nail in the coffin of destroying this country. Yeah, and, I will agree with you. I will agree with you on one thing, and that is that Hillary Clinton is probably more competent than Barack Obama. Number one, and number two, at least. She doesn't favor, overtly Muslim interests over Christian and Jewish interests, and I don't think she would try to...
Wait a minute. Obama favors Muslim interests over Christian and Jewish interests? Let me thank Ted for the call. Can you expand upon that? And what evidence do you have that the president...
We don't have enough time. I think we did that on a prior show. Go to our website. It's freedomwatchusa.org.
You don't believe the president cares about Christian, who happens to be a Christian, but since you think he was born in Kenya, you probably think he's a secret Muslim, right?
Well, number one, his dad was Muslim. Number two,
and that dad was an atheist.
He wears a ring. He wears a ring that says, "My only God is Allah."
What do you mean he wears? Where's this ring? I mean,
he canceled the National Day of Prayer in the White House to feast Ramadan and endorse the Ground Zero Mosque. He has been continually hostile towards Israel in 6 years. Alan, you're Jewish. You understand what I'm talking about. Jewish people here. I'll tell you something. You walk around Beverly Hills, California, or any other place, Jewish people are changing their opinion of this president.
Wait. The president
is an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
And let me add this: he hangs out with Reverend Wright, previously Derek Bell of Harvard, who was a vehement anti-Semite, a law professor. Louis Farrakhan is one of his friends. These people
they're not. You're making a whole bunch of statements here, Larry, that some of which are not true. He's not a friend of Louis Farrakhan. Also, Snopes has already done its investigative work on the wedding ring that you claim bears an Arabic inscription saying there's no God but Allah. It's not true. It's not true.
Maybe he changed his ring.
No, he didn't change his ring.
They took a picture
there
of it
was
on his
never.
hand.
Yes. There was an October 2012 article drawing attention on the Internet making that claim, and it would confirm some people's belief that he's a Muslim. According to Snopes.com, it looks to be an artifact, what you saw on the Internet, of someone who has never actually seen the ring in question, trying to find a hidden message where none exists. All of the images... Go ahead.
Whether you're right or I'm right or whoever... uncovered this is right now. There's a whole series of events here, series of unfortunate events.
But you're repeating old wives' tales that are not true. Wouldn't you have more credibility not to repeat?
Do not view him as friendly to them. They view him as hostile. Even the left is starting to turn on him in that regard.
What do you say, Larry?
It was metaphoric to make the same point we're talking about with Alan right now. It's to make the point that Obama, I don't care what he calls himself, is not in his heart a Christian.
And how do you know it's in his heart?
Does everything he can.
But how do you know it's in somebody else's heart? I got to stop you there, Larry. With all due respect, how do you know it's in somebody else's heart?
Well, obviously, if he felt strongly about it, he'd be worried about persecution in the Middle East against Christians. He barely talks about that. He'd rather talk about Trayvon.
We had persecution in Sudan and the Middle East for decades, regardless of who was president. George W. Bush is a devout Christian, and we had persecution in Christian countries when he was president.
You know what? He should have done more, Alan.
But doesn't mean he's not a Christian, though. You're not questioning Bush's faith?
But there's a lot of evidence with Obama. Read our website, freedomwatchusa.org.